Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do an experiment. I built a Bates Motel diorama. It turned out really good. I think it turned out nice. It's all built and everything, but it has no landscaping. And today we're going to do an experiment. I took some of this twine style rope and I chopped it up into fine pieces and I put it in a few washes to get a few different shades. I used a burnt umber and a chestnut color, soaked them in there for a little while, and then I chopped them up in fine pieces. Here's a little test sample just on a piece of paper. Not really sure how it's going to look on top of this. I've never done this before, as this was the first big diorama thing I've ever built. The surface you see here is a plaster, structolite to be exact. I'm pretty good at plastering. I did that for a living on homes, so doing something this small was kind of simple. But I have no experience in putting grass or anything on here. I got a static grass applicator. Some of you guys may have seen those, heard of them. I got this off of eBay, very inexpensive one. Probably should have bought a nicer one, but we're going to give it a test run today as well. Seemed to work okay on the test paper. So what I did was just cut it up as fine as I could. I'm noticing the smaller it is, the better it stands up because it's kind of heavy. The green patch there is what came with the applicator, but that's way too bright for our Bates Motel. We want the grass to look dead and dried out like a California climate. So I'll set the camera up, we'll put some glue down and see how it looks. Alright, I know most people use a different glue for this, but since it is an experiment, I'm going to try this Elmer's washable clear glue. This is actually the same glue that I used to put in this pond to get the look that it has, and I think it turned out pretty good. You got to put it on real thin though. It takes a long time to dry if you put it on thick. I did it like a 50-50 mix of glue and water in this container. We're going to apply this in the areas where we think the grass should go. I guess we'll start right here in this corner around the pond. And I hope I don't regret putting this on here. Like I say, I've never done this before. It looked pretty decent on the sample paper. I changed the color slightly from what I used on that to make it look more like dead grass. So let's put down some glue and see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue in the places, and when we come back we'll start putting the grass down. Alright, I put an extension wire on here because it was so short. You're going to touch the wire on the surface, it says. You can see the shiny areas is where the glue is. And let's see what happens. Alright, you can see a little bit of a difference. It looks to be a little time consuming for me. Probably works better if you use the proper stuff. I see some places it's pretty much just laying down, looks like, but maybe I can get a better ground on it. Alright, I tried it out. I don't know I mean, if I'm really happy or not. I've never done this before or used it, so don't know if I'm sure it's possible to get better results, but for what I'm using and the amount of money I spent, I guess you can't complain. Might add some more color to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Well, I went over it with the vacuum cleaner. I put a sock on the end of it and caught what I could, so I could probably reuse it. Like I say, I didn't spend much money to build this diorama. Most of this is cardboard and plaster. The only thing I purchased was the house that was a plastic model. Everything else I made from scratch with stuff I already had. I spent about $20 on materials, not counting the house. I think the house was about $35. So, to do it that way and not spend a bunch of money, I think it's turning out pretty nice. I think if I do this again with this material, I might try to cut it a little bit shorter so it stands up better. It's heavier than the green grass, so it has a tendency to want to fall over. But it still looks pretty good. The more I study on it and look at it, I'm liking it more and more. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this glue and just cover the whole thing with one coat of this. Can always drop some lighter colors in later, I think. Alright guys, I decided to just go ahead and cover the whole thing. I've seen worse things. It's not perfect. It's not professional by any means, because I'm not a professional. It's the only first time I've ever tried this. I wouldn't call it a complete mistake. It doesn't look half bad. So if anybody out there was wondering if you could shred up some string and turn it into dried up, dead looking grass, here's what it would look like. I took a little bit of the green that came with the static applicator and put it in there, so we got a little bit of green in some spots. But I would say 95% of it is just shredded string. Whatever type of rope you call this, twine. Anyway, that's what we made the grass out of. If you liked the video, let me know. If you've got some tips you'd like to share, even better. I probably should have bought the right stuff, but I like experimenting and using what I have. It's coming along pretty good. Still got to build the Bates Motel sign and put some tire stops in. Some details still left to do. Got to build some trees. That's something I've never done either, so I'm going to try to build some trees. But here's where we are. Thanks for watching.